I tell you, 2019 has not been off to a good start. And the past couple of times where I've done a little gag of me putting my video black and white because of the government shutdown, I'm not even going to bother doing that. Because it's just not worth my time anymore. So I'm just going to go right into our topics. So I'll start off with some good stuff. First off, we have the 2018 Best Anthropomorphic Art Awards. So the early contenders for 2018, we had 14 of them. We had To Dream from Fire Feathers, What We Are Within the Chrysalis by Hand Monster, The Director by Nomax, A Ceremony of Light by Simmel, Commission for Bottlenose by Hanovi. I don't know if that's that can't be the actual. I mean, that can't be the actual title of the artwork, because they're putting links to the artwork from Fur Affinity. But Partrin by Alsaris No Links, number 17 and number 27 by Level Violet, Bailout and Ice and Steel by Latex Royce, Bass Street Station by Bubble Wolf, Ghostly Run by DeSanko, At Ease by Cubs, and Christmas 2018 by Don Coyote. The runner-ups for the awards, there were 4. Commission for Ochoa, I probably butcher that, by Hanovi. Same thing, most likely not the name of the artwork, but I Will Do As Spiders Do by Makenda. Alea, oh boy. Alea Iacta Est by Latex Royce, and Tall Black Church by Bubble Wolf. Now, before I get to the finalists and the winner, there was a special merit award that was given out. And it was awarded to a historical photograph showing 2 people who passed away recently. The photographer is unknown, but it was posted by Kay Shapiro on her website. And it shows the late Fred Patton becoming the official editor of Rover Basil APA in January of 1989, just 2 months before I was born. And standing next to the previous editor, Mark Schurmeister, who is still around. And on the far left of the picture is the late Bob Hill, who is dressed in an early fursuit based on Jerry Collins' Bambioids. And I think I know what that looks like, because I may have seen the photo. Yeah, I've seen that photo before. So the finalists, we had they were given an audience choice of vote as well, but the audience choice alone does not determine the winner. First off was Pirates by Carade, who got 22% of the audience vote. There was a tie for the audience choice winner between Calm Before the Storm by Fire Feathers and Needle Felted Coyote by Julie Toys, who each got 27% of the vote. But the winner, which only got 24% of the audience vote, was I just want to note the winner, chosen by Bahu. was Cyber Squalor by Nomax, which was a commission for Dottie. And they post the picture there, which, let me pull it up real quick. And sort of a realistic Dalmatian has a I don't know if I would say prosthetic leg, but definitely an artificial leg, sitting up by a sewer all lonely. They gave one last thing, which is the artist to watch in 2019, which they awarded that to Ira Arn, who does portrait style artwork. And she does have a Fur Affinity page. You want to check that out. And yes, they're all portrait styles. Let's see. Next up, there's been a trend on Twitter lately. And it's what happens. What happens when you mix anything with furries? They're going to make it anthropomorphic. And what they did was that they turned the Twitter logo into a furry. There is plenty of it posted. It's under the hashtag #tweetfur. And it's a mixture. Half of it will be cute. Half of it will be suggestive. You know what I'm talking about. And honestly, there's actually some pretty good artwork that's being posted. I was just looking at what I just pulled up one, and it showed the bird like yeah, pretty much summed it up. You're gonna get crazy stuff on Twitter. But I saw this being trending as like something started out as how they should tweet the Twitter logo. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's like, don't make it anthropomorphic. I was like, that's oddly specific. But yeah, do check it out on Twitter under hashtag #tweetfur. There's actually some pretty good artwork. Just be careful not to browse through it at work, because like I said, there are some suggestive stuff. Oh yeah, here it is. It was under the brand guidelines, and one of the basics was don't anthropomorphize the logo, which, like, that was pretty odd. Because we all know what the Twitter logo looks like. But to my knowledge, I don't think they have an actual mascot. But I think the furries just created one for them right there. Like, what were some of the other basics? Only show the logo in Twitter blue or white. Which, yeah. Don't alter, rotate, or modify the logo. Which is, well, sometimes logos can be altered, depending on maybe like a special occasion or anything. Google does it with their logo all the time. Don't animate the logo that makes it talk, chirp, or fly. Don't surround the logo with other birds or creatures. Don't accessorize the logo with extra elements like speech bubbles. Don't overemphasize logo. Don't use previous versions of the logo. There was previous versions? Okay, I'm curious now. Twitter logo versions. It's like there was an old one? Okay, alright, so now I see where it's coming from. They recently, yeah, they did recently post version 2 of their brand guidelines, Someone shared this back on January 2nd, and this is not something that I follow because I really don't. I don't really care what they do with their stuff. I don't control all that. But man, the furries are taking over. Now, I was thinking about which one I wanted to talk about first, but I'll start with Anthro Crossroads East, which is this weekend. Like I said in my previous video, I'm staffing for the first time. I'm taking over as audio engineer, so I'll be working the sounds throughout the whole weekend. And it's going to be a pretty hectic schedule. So if there's anyone around the con, I apologize in advance if I don't have time to stop and talk, because I'm going to be pretty busy this weekend, and I'll see if I'll have time to fursuit. I don't know what it's going to be like, but what I do have is the schedule for the weekend, and because there aren't that many rooms for us to use, it's going to be a pretty small schedule. Well, it's a small con anyway. Let's see. We're going to be setting our stuff up starting at 8 a.m. on Friday, expecting to finish up at noon. The dealer's room will open at 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Triangle Ballroom. Registration will open up at 10 a.m. going to 8 a.m. We'll have someone on call when registration closes over to midnight. We have the main events room and we have the panels room. I'll do this in chronological order. 1 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. It's going to be in the panels room, which is Bellamy and Mendenhall, that panel is called Using TikTok, which I don't use the app. I don't plan to. But so you know, Bellamy and Mendenhall, I actually recognize those names. Those are Bellamy was an apartment that I went to, but I know that's more than that. Mendenhall is, if I remember correctly, was one of the buildings at East Carolina University. I may be wrong. It's been a long time since I've been to college, but that's how I remember those. Anyway, same time. This time from 1 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. In the main events room, which is Blowing Rock and Chimney Rock, which is which are some mountain, which is in the mountains. What they're referring to, Furs and Boxes, which I have no clue what that is. 3 p.m. to 3:45 at the panels room is Anthro in Japan. I think that was pretty self-explanatory. 3 p.m. to 4:45, Citrine Husky and Alkali will be hosting open mic comedy. 5 p.m. main events will be the opening ceremonies. 6:30 to 8 o'clock will be Uncle Kage's story hour. I mean, he lives in the Raleigh area, so it's pretty easy to get him to do one of his story hours. 7 p.m., 7:45 will be Fursuiting 101. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., Kage and Boozy Badger will be doing a charity performance, and this is an After Dark panel. 8 p.m. to 1 p.m. it will be the dance, and there's only 2 DJs for the dance. It is me and Bubblegum. So we will be the 2 DJs performing for you, and it's a 5-hour dance. I'll be performing the first half. Bubblegum will be performing the second half. And that will be for both Friday and Saturday. Sunday, it's just going to be me. By the way, the gaming room will be open from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the Biltmore and Hope rooms. The Fursuit Lounge will be in the Outer Banks room, same time. Super Sponsor Suite from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. and the Zoo will be at Tanglewood and Pinehurst from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. There will be an ice cream social from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and this is a ticketed event for pre-registered attendees. Saturday. Registration and dealer's room will both open up at 10. For the main events room, we have Meet the Charity Second Chance. 1 p.m. to 2:45, Charity Uno. That will be in the panels room. 1 p.m. to 2:45, same time, will be Fursuit Games in the main events room. 3 o'clock to 3:45, Spooky's Art Hour in the panels room. Main events room, 3 to 5, Science, Pseudoscience, and Outright Crap, which will be hosted by Uncle Kage. 5 to 5:45 in the panels room is the Fursuit Parade and Fursuit Photography. And then 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the panels room is Monkey Knife Fights, an After Dark panel hosted by Alkali and Boozy. And I already mentioned the dance. It'll be the same situation as it is on Friday. And all the other rooms is going to be the same times. Sunday, main events room from 12 to 1:45, Citrine in Concert. Panels room, 12 p.m. to 12:45, Fudging Rolls, RPG as a Furry. 1 p.m. in the panels room will be Fursuit Making 101. 2 o'clock in the main events room to 4 o'clock is the charity auction. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock is furry game shows. And I think they said they're going to have Match Game, Jeopardy, Family Feud. I think those are the games they're going to play. In the panels room, 4 to 6, Effective Writing, Making a Story Come Alive, which will be hosted by Kage. In the gaming room, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the Smash Brothers tournament. And I assume they're going to be using the Ultimate version. Main events room, 5 to 6, Dance Competition. 6 to 7 is Closing Ceremonies. And then 8 to 12 will be the Dead Dog Dance, which I'll be DJing the whole dance. Fursuit Lounge will be open from 10 a.m. to midnight. Sponsor Suite and the Zoo will be open from 5 a.m. until closing ceremonies at 5 p.m. Did they say what... they did say what charity it is. I know I had it up. Yeah, it's called Second Chance. Do we have our... Yes, we do. They're a no-kill rescue that seeks to find fostered and forever homes for animals in the Triangle area. Now, we will have, like I said earlier, we will have a charity auction, which will be in the main event room, if I remember correctly. And that will take place on Sunday, like I said, from 2 to 4 in the main events room. And we will have this con at the Embassy Suites, which is right next to the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Yeah. If you ever get the chance, for those of you who are attending, do check out the observation deck over at the airport. You're going to get some great views over there. Yeah, the observation deck lets you take a look at runway 5 left, 23 right, and you will get to hear the air traffic control conversations from the tower to the planes that are on the ground. And for those not familiar with it, most of the planes that go out on that runway is Delta Airlines. We also have United, we got American and Southwest going out of that airport. Southwest usually uses the other runway, but recently I've been seeing them use 5 left, 23 right a little more, and using the other runway for general aviation traffic. One last thing that I need to address. I've been doing some serious thinking over the past week, and it has to do with my con schedule. More specifically, Anthrocon. I've been going to Anthrocon for 11 years. And I mean, it was bad last year with the ribbon fiasco, which I already addressed in my con recap video. And recently, Anthrocon put out their new guest of honor announcement out. And I'm not even going to mention who it is, because as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't deserve a mention in this video, and I'll explain why. The person that I'm referring to, and you'll all know who it is. The furries will know who it is. They chose him because he recently got a major gaming award, and I did see the video. And it's great that he won an award. That should be a great accomplishment for him. However, what he did there was a cheap shot. He used that platform to attack anyone that has a conservative view, or anyone that doesn't have a left-leaning view. Taking a cheap shot at Republicans, saying that yeah, I'm the guy that Republican hates. That is not how you do that, okay? And it's not just limited to that. I look at his Twitter page, and it shows how toxic this guy is. He continues to act so condescending to anyone that is not liberal. I mean, you can look it up yourself. I mean, good for you for supporting LGBT rights, but you cannot attack anyone for not sharing the same view. That is not how you do it. What you're supposed to do is convince them that LGBT are good people. You need to convince them of that. You don't attack them for not sharing that same view. I mean, you can change someone's mind, okay? But instead, he attacks him and acts like it's some accomplishment. And Anthrocon thought that this was worthy of being a guest of honor? This is why I think that Anthrocon, the atmosphere at Anthrocon has gotten worse, and I think now that the board of directors is now actively contributing to it. You can support LGBT rights without being condescending, without being so mean-spirited. You can talk to anyone who doesn't hold that same view, and you can convince them. You can convince them to come on your side. Look at everyone's views from over 20 years ago. A lot of people did not support gay rights like 20, 30 years ago. But that has now progressed over to the other side because we actively work to show that these are good people. When you attack someone because you don't share the same view, you only make them hate you more. You make the problem worse. To put this bluntly, I'm getting tired of the politics. I'm getting tired of the hate from everyone in the convention. I'm getting tired of that. And to see that these conventions are now actively letting them do what they want, this is not any way to run a con. And now they choose a guest of honor that is going to make things much worse. So, for those reasons, and I've thought long and hard about this. As much as I love the city of Pittsburgh, I cannot support what Anthrocon is doing. For this reason, until something changes, I'm deciding that this year I will not attend Anthrocon. I could send them a letter showing my displeasure on the decision, but chances are they'll just roll up into a paper clump and throw it in the trash. So I'm gonna do it the more effective way by not giving them my money. I'm not going to support that any longer. Listen, I love the city of Pittsburgh, but I've just had enough of it. I'm tired of the divisive atmosphere. I want that to change. So till then, I'm going to put my money towards another convention, which I will announce at a later time. But for now, my schedule is that I'm going to be staffing Anthro Crossroads East. I'm going to be attending First Squared and BLFC. But for the time being, I'm not going to Anthrocon. I will not attend it for the first time in 11 years. So, like I said, I'll announce which con will take place of that. But I want everyone to think long and hard about what I just said. Instead of dividing people just because of their views, you can talk to them. You may actually change someone's mind and actually make this convention grow. You can make the community grow if you would just talk to someone. So that is it for me. Got my heater running because it's been really cold, but I'm just glad it's going to warm up by the time the weekend comes. Anyway, that's it for me. This Dragon's Mouth is now closing.